To those that live in Italy, how is the situation right now with coronavirus and lockdown? Currently watching a university lesson from my bed, but my father went to work this morning. I'm in a region where the lockdown started officially today, so it's all pretty new. Let's hope people don't storm the grocery stores. Edit. Since a lot of people are mentioning it, there's no news about shortage of toilet paper and, at least in my area, no assault on grocery stores. Edit 2. We can get out of our houses. We are asked to do so just for necessity, like buying groceries. We have to have a good reason if we want to leave our town. High school student here. Schools are simply closed and the TV is full of ads about washing your hands and avoid contact with other people. Edit. I forgot to say that each morning we have approximately 3 hours of video lessons from our laptop. Sounds ducking lit. Basic Italian uni student with bad English here. Basically, in the past we used to cough to cover up a fart. Nowadays we fart to cover up a cough. I'm a nurse student in Italy. Right now I can't go to the university. I can't go to work. We shouldn't go out unless it's a necessity. So basically we need to stay home and finally finish our Netflix list. It may sound pretty cool for the first few days, but after a while it gets pretty depressing and boring. I got so bored that sounds familiar to me. I'm in China and I've been stuck in my apartment for nearly 2 months. I can get food delivered and go to the convenience store to buy other things, but nearly everything is closed other than supermarkets and pharmacies. It was, as you said, pretty cool for the first few days. Now it's just terrible, although it is slowly getting better again. I hope things get better for you and the rest of Italy soon, but I'm afraid this is probably just the beginning. How are people with no money surviving? What about people whose lives depend on daily wages? Is the government providing free food? In Europe you continue getting paid when you're sick. I live in Verona. I'm a 19 years old living alone because my mother and my father took it in Milan, and for the first time I'm home alone for a month. Pretty nice though. I play GTA 5 with my friends like the old days, doing some indoor workout and experimenting with cooking. I'm becoming a good chef. The school is quite annoying, but it's okay. I wake up at 7:30 and at 8 AM I start a 5 hours straight in front of my laptop for online lessons, and then I go cooking my lunch. I don't go out if not to buy some food and maybe some cigarettes because the situation it's not good. There is no space left in the intensive therapy, so if I get really sick, they would have to remove someone to save me since I would have better chance of surviving. This is why I almost never go out. Once a week. I don't want to be the reason for someone's death. I finally have time to mod Skyrim. It never ends. Spend 8 hours modding and fine-tuning Skyrim. Load up game. Play for 30 minutes. Turn it off. Well, that was fun. I have a daughter living in Serrano, but she works in Milano. She is housebound, on lockdown. Her courses are being done via Skype. Her employer has asked her not to come to work. She is not allowed to leave her house unless it is an emergency, which I hope never happens. She says there has been quite a bit of panic buying at the supermarkets. All the restaurants are pretty much empty. However, they are allowed to be open between 6 AM and 6 PM. People who are seated should have at least a 1 meter distance between them at restaurants. Tourist areas, Egg Duomo in Milano, are devoid of almost anybody. All school and universities remain closed. All sporting or any kind of events have been suspended. Ski resorts are closed. The same for cinemas, theaters, discos. All church services have been suspended. Whilst the measures may seem extreme, Italy has been the hardest hit worldwide besides for China, so it's necessary to curb travel and cultural activities to stop the spread of the virus. Are there reasons why restaurants are shut outside of 6:30 AM to 6:30 PM? It's to prevent people who ignore the lockdown and go out in the evenings from gathering at bars, restaurants. There will likely be a baby boom in 9 months. Efficient virus. Kill the old. Spawn the new young. I'm a university student, and since last week we have been doing lessons via Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms. I don't really like these methods, but it's the only alternative. So, there's a fair amount of psychosis between a big chunk of the population. Supermarkets have been raided overnight. We are advised to not leave our houses unless it's necessary, but you can fill a form on your own to certify that you need to go to work. So basically everyone is running around without a real examination of that form because literally anyone can do that. The only thing that has been really impacted by this is nightlife and sports since every league of every sport is suspended until April. Sorry for asking a question here as I am not exactly answering yours OP. Are tourists allowed to fly out of Italy or are they supposed to stay in Italy until the lockdown is over? Edit. Thanks everyone else for your comments. I asked this question because a colleague of mine flew in on Sunday with their family to northwest Italy for a week-long skiing holiday. They didn't want to lose the money so they went. For a couch potato like me it's awesome. I can watch my uni lessons online and in my free time play a duck ton of video games or work out a little bit. Also I think we're allowed to leave and get some fresh air. So except for the deadly virus thing everything is okay. I live in Hong Kong so we had protests and the virus back to back. My university has been closed since mid-November. Sounds like hell to some people but I'm really enjoying it. I'm a final year medic and I'm graduating on Thursday over Skype. I live in the heart of the Lombardy region. All my family has it and my granduncle died. People just stay home and that's it. There is not much to do and shops are closed. You can hear ambulances all day and night. My uncle is in the hospital with a high fever. His wife got it as well but she is home as her symptoms are milder. My cousin is taking care of her and miraculously she is fine. However her grandpa died and she couldn't even go to visit him. Her grandma is sick as well and she can't see her either and she can't see her dad. Hospitals are closed. The available hospital beds in intensive care have run out and doctors are making tough choices for who to try to save, which is terrifying considering most of my family is old and they might not get a bed. Doctors are overworked and tired and since I know many people that work in the hospital, they are sharing with me these gruesome pics of people recovered in the intensive care unit. They are intubated and it just is a sad view. Hospitals are so full of people on life support because of coronavirus. People are amassed on the corridors because they lack rooms. My friend who gets people with the ambulance is working non-stop to get people who are in critical conditions. People keep saying it's just a flu. Yes, sure, but a flu without having had a vaccine can be quite dangerous. The youngest person I know that has it, he is in his 40s and has had 40 degrees Celsius temperature for 2 weeks straight and counting. Don't catch it, it's really not fun even if your immune system is strong. Trust me on this. I have seen the repercussion on my family firsthand. No church is open or public event is held. Since Italy is primarily populated by old people, we are used to see the streets being empty and everything being quiet. Right now is just quieter. They couldn't even hold the funeral for her grandpa. My grandma woke up sick and I truly hope she has something else. So many people in my city have it and yet they keep going around the city and spreading it. Incredible. Some people go to the supermarket and get out of it with tons of food so that they don't need to go shopping again. Others, like my grandma, go every day because how else is she going to get fresh bread? Luckily we have convinced her that she cannot go anymore and she said from tomorrow she won't leave the house. Just this Sunday she had to go to church to confess. The town priest has been taken to the hospital today because he catched coronavirus and he is in critical conditions. I wonder how this death count will go up now that the hospitals are overfilled. Rumor has it that my cousin's grandma got it because she was in the hospital being treated because she broke her back, but I can't be sure about this, so this is just our personal speculation based on no real evidence, so don't take my word for it. I'm Italian but live abroad. Currently my brother is in one of the high risk zone in the north. He works at the university as a researcher. Today he went to work and the laboratory was empty. Starting from tomorrow the uni told him to stay at home and that the structure will be temporarily closed. He was planning an exchange with a laboratory in Ireland for April, but I think it's cancelled. He's worried of course and a bit bored too, but he understands that the situation is critical and that we have to give our contribution to avoid the spreading. My cousin is in Bologna where the situation is surreal. According to him, no one is on the streets and the supermarket got assaulted multiple times from people concerning that they would have run out of food, which is not going to happen since supplies are guaranteed. My parents live in a small city in the south where only 4 cases were registered in the entire region so far, so they are not much concerned. But they are taking precautions if the situation will get worse and they are trying to stay at home when possible. Luckily their jobs are not at risk because my mother works in public administration and my father can work on remote. I live in Germany instead. Yesterday I went to a pharmacy and I could get a couple of face masks just in case. The ladies there understood from my accent I wasn't German, so they asked me where I was coming from. As soon as I said I was Italian they jumped away. I felt like I needed to specify I was living here and had no contact with Italy since December. That felt bad. Well, now you know what it's like to be Asian. People just freaking out when they see someone Asian. Right now I'm in my office in Tuscany, 20 miles away from my home. This morning at 7 AM we hadn't any problem moving around, but I don't know how things will evolve outside my workplace. There are a lot of different informations about what you can and what you can't do from all the media. So I'm here hoping to not getting sick and still be capable at least to move to home tonight and maybe came back to work in the next days. Some say life goes on like always. Others say everything is compromised. I'm just here, waiting for things to develop. I have friends in northern Italy quarantined in their homes, my mum in hospital working with face masks and generally people freaking out. They say grocery shopping will be guaranteed. So overall I'm not even worried about it. Maybe it's the chance to have some days off and enjoy my home and some games. Unrequested update is 6 PM. While working we got a document to show to police officers if we get stopped while going from a commune, something like US municipalities, to another. In this document we declare who we are and why we are in our home. You can move by car, bike, whatever if you have to meet your family, older people who need care, children and so on, or go to work. Every other reason is forbidden. Right now you still can go around the commune where you live without almost any problem. You only have to keep distance from people around you. Traffic is quite low, compared to last week for example, but people still do their things. A lot of non-fundamental services are closed but you can still go to a pharmacy, hospital, gas stations and big workplaces like industries. Social life is paused, almost everything else is still active in my life. I've been locked in my house with my 2 sisters and my mother for 2 weeks and I still have a month ahead of me. PLS send help.